So welcome to one of the most informative sessions you're ever going to find, not just for yourself, but for your business and your ideas as well. There's some things, if you're just thinking about them, they can come true. But first things first, we're here in a special economic zone and with a gentleman who runs one of the fewest of those in Kenya. James Murray is one of Kenya's biggest investors. We all know his track record. And now he's going to be telling us why you need to start thinking about being here in a special economic zone. Mr. Murray, let's start. What is a special economic zone?
Thank you very much, Maina. It's a pleasure to be here.
Let's see.
A special economic zone is a geographical location which has been gazetted by the Special Economic Zone Authority as a zone. And within that zone, you then enjoy certain incentives.
Yes.
Tax incentives. So these incentives range from a lower corporation tax rate, lower value-added tax, lower customs duties. Generally, taxes tend to be lower.
Yeah.
And the intention is to enable the enterprises operating there to be competitive, so that when you export your services or goods to whichever market you're going to, you can compete with other competitors from different parts of the world.
Yeah. So what is the advantage of me being in an SEZ? Let's start with, if I qualify, how do I qualify first of all?
So let's assume you are, if I use a specific example of Two Rivers International Finance and Innovation Center, let's assume you've been contracted by a company in the United States to do some back office operations for them.
Yeah.
And you have an option of either doing it in the US or coming to Kenya.
Yeah.
You come to Kenya and then you come to a special economic zone like Trific.
Yes.
And you set up an entity.
Yes.
And that entity is supporting your operations in the US. That particular entity is going to enjoy a lower corporation tax rate.
Yes.
Of 10%.
Yeah. That's what I pay.
That's what you pay.
Yes.
And if that entity then bring in computer equipment and other equipment to do the job, when that equipment lands into the special economic zone, for purposes of delivering that service, there is no value-added tax, there is no customs duty. In short, it's coming in tax-free.
Wow.
Okay?
Yes.
If you then have other suppliers who supply you, your entity with services or goods, for purposes of you serving your overseas client, okay, you also don't have any value-added tax. So you have no business going to claim your VAT
later on,
and things like that.
Yes.
If, say, it's so specialized that perhaps you've engaged a third-party software provider, you're paying royalties, you're paying management fees, etc.
Yes.
There's no withholding taxes on those payments.
Yes.
And let's also assume that you've borrowed some money internationally for your entity here to set it up. There's also no taxation on that interest that you're going to pay. Let us also assume you had some foreign investors and you want to repatriate your money back, dividends and the rest.
Yes.
There's no taxation. So that therefore means that whatever business you're doing, you're coming here, you are accessing a lower cost environment because the labor cost here is lower.
Yes.
You then have the tax incentives.
Yes.
So it means, and number three, also the Kenya shilling has weakened.
Yes.
So if you're being paid in dollars and you're incurring your cost in shillings,
you make a lot more money.
Profit margin.
Yes, there's a bigger profit
margin.
margin.
You can now use your margin to be more competitive.
Yes.
So you can outprice
anyone
your competitor,
else.
say in the US, the one you're competing with. You can go and offer your client a discount of 10%.
Yes.
And get a bigger portion of the business.
Of the business, yes.
And as you know, many of this, across the world now, we are dealing with inflation.
Yeah.
So if you go to your customer and say, this service, I can provide it cheaper, there's a chance you'll get a bigger
piece of the pie.
A bigger piece of the pie.
Yes.
So by you operating here, it helps you get a bigger piece of the pie at a higher margin.
Yes.
Using those incentives.
Yes.
So how you qualify, to your question, is that largely, so that it works, you need to have an export-oriented business.
Yes.
Where you are linking.
Whether it's goods or services.
Yes. So for special economic zone, it applies for goods and services.
Yes.
But there are different types of special economic zones.
Okay.
There are zones that are involved in manufacturing.
Yeah.
There are zones that are involved with logistics. There are zones that are involved with services.
Yeah.
So Two Rivers International Finance and Innovation Center, or Trific in short, is the first zone that has been licensed for services. It's a business service park.
Okay.
So if you're in the world of business, it may be IT, it may be customer service, it may be you're doing whatever back office operations in finance,
call centers and stuff.
Call centers, etc. Then you come and locate
your business here.
You locate your business here. And for you to enjoy this, these incentives have been in place since 2015.
Wow.
But for you to enjoy those incentives, there must be an actual zone that has been gazetted.
Yes.
So up until now, there was no zone in Nairobi.
Yes.
So those incentives that have been in law could not be actualized by any enterprise, which is what makes Trific a game changer.
Yes.
In that now, for the first time, enterprises that are in service, export of services, have a location they can come and set up.
And set up here.
Set up here.
There are a lot of Kenyans who live in the Western world, and a lot of them are experts, especially in accounting. And you find a lot of Kenyans do a lot of, as a core business, tax filing for Americans, for Europeans. How do they benefit from being here?
Actually, accounting is a good example.
Yes.
And accounting, even say in the United States.
Yes.
There was an article in the FT a few months back that indicated that there's a shortage of accountants in the United States.
Yes.
So if you're offering accounting services in the United States and you're sourcing your accountants in the United States, you're facing several challenges. One, there's a shortage of accountants there. And two, if you find them, they are expensive.
True.
Now, the good thing that has happened and has accelerated post-COVID is that services have been digitized.
Yes.
And also there's been globalization of supply chains, which means that work can be done in a totally different geographical location from than where you are.
Yes.
And now in Kenya, you have increased connectivity.
Yes.
So you can employ the accountants in Kenya.
Yes.
So same from Kenya, they work from here.
You pay them in Kenya shillings.
And you pay them in Kenya shillings.
Yes.
And there's one client we had who was looking for accountants. And he said he wants 200 accountants who had an SCCA qualification. And we went out, and within 3 days we had 400.
Wow.
So you have many accountants here.
Yes.
Not just accountants, you have many different professionals who don't have jobs.
True.
The second advantage then you have is that the cost of this accountant here is cheaper.
Yes.
So
the labor force is cheaper here.
Yeah, the labor force obviously is a lot cheaper. Now it has become even cheaper because of the depreciation of the currency.
Yes.
Because the costs have not changed in Kenya shillings.
True.
So before, when it was 120, now it's 160, it means that depreciation is a cost reduction.
Yes.
So you can either pay your accountants a bit better, or you can share that
huge margin, the fluctuation in currency.
You can share that huge margin. Now, what is also interesting is that Kenya is probably now probably the only African country that is negotiating a strategic trade and investment partnership with the United States.
Yes.
So it gives you a huge advantage, because that STIP is meant to encourage trade between Kenya
and the US
and the US.
Yes.
And mutual recognition.
Yes.
So there'll be a lot of barriers that are going to fall. You're aware that last year, December, we ratified the Economic Partnership Agreement with the UK.
Yes.
You also have an agreement with the EU.
Yeah.
And then you have an agreement with the UK.
Yeah.
So from Kenya, you can access the largest markets in the world.
Wow.
The largest markets in the US.
Yes.
The UK.
In the EU.
And the EU and the US.
True.
Now, what the incentives do for you is that you're paying a very low tax in Kenya. So any other taxes you pay in the US, there's no double taxation.
Yes.
Yeah, there's no double taxation. So it's not, because before, if you're not in an SEZ,
you'll
then end up paying taxes here
and
paying taxes there.
Yes.
So it makes the whole thing
sometimes even unaffordable.
Sometimes now it becomes unaffordable.
Yeah.
So even in that business, by you now working out your business model where the human capital is domiciled in Kenya, without necessarily moving them there, it gives you a significant competitive edge in your business. For a while, we were more expensive than India and Philippines.
Yes.
Now we are cheaper. So you can take the depreciation of the currency as a huge advantage, because once the currency depreciated,
yes,
we've gotten a lot more competitive.
Wow.
Yeah.
So actually, the depreciation of the shilling can actually be a good thing.
It can be to your favor.
It can be to your
favor.
favor.
It's a bad thing.
Yes.
If you are a consumer.
Yes.
It's a good thing if
you're
you are
an
a
exporter,
producer.
a producer and
if you are
exporter.
a producer and an exporter. It's a great thing for you. In fact, many countries, businesses in many countries that are export-led, like China,
yes,
when they meet their governments, they lobby for a weaker currency to be more competitive in the
global arena.
In the global arena.
Wow. Okay, so I'm a Kenyan.
Yeah.
I've got what I feel are services I can export.
Yeah.
And I've got an idea of what those services can be.
Yeah.
Maybe I've got a pool of huge talent in accounts or marketing or advertising or anything.
Yes.
Can you help me
Yes.
get contacts to help market my services?
So currently what we are doing,
yes,
where we've done partnerships, where we are helping the enterprises, is on the recruitment side.
Yes.
Because the assumption is you're already in the US,
yes,
you have your clients.
Yes.
What you don't understand is the Kenyan side.
Yes. Aha.
Yeah, that's a link we have right now.
Okay. Yes.
That's where we have a strength. So we had a program as Centum through one of our other portfolio companies called a Nigeri program.
Yeah.
Which was meant to link labor with employment opportunities.
Yes.
We've done that program also with the MasterCard Foundation.
Yes.
So when we understand your labor requirements, we can recruit for you.
Yes. Aha.
We can also help you in training.
Yes.
And in verification of the qualifications
yes.
of these particular individuals.
Yes.
Then also you don't have to fly here to get your licenses.
Yes. You do all that work.
You do all that. You don't need to do anybody in government. We'll
yes.
ask you for the documents. You'll send them to us. We'll do the application on your behalf.
Yes.
Okay. So we can take off a lot of those setup issues.
Yes.
Off your mind.
Yeah.
So to just concentrate on your customer.
Yes.
On the front end of your business.
Yes.
And we support you on the back end.
The back end of the business.
On the back end of the business.
Yes.
Yeah. So the other thing, the other pain that the Trific has removed is that the way the special economic zones were conceived before, or what has been in the market up until now,
yes,
they were selling land.
Yes.
And you have to come and put up a building.
Yes.
So imagine now you just need 20 accountants. You don't want to put up a building.
True.
You want to come and just come in and set up.
And set up, yeah.
You may not even want to come and buy furniture and do offices.
Yes.
So we've already done the offices, there are desks.
Yes.
So you want a place where you can come, plug, and play.
That you can get that here?
Yeah, that we've provided.
Yes.
You don't have to look for any network provider. We have 9 ISPs
yes.
with fiber terminations here. We have data center, we have power backup. So you just concentrate on, so what you need to do as a business person, you just concentrate on business development.
Yes.
And
what you're good at.
What you're good at.
Yes.
And as you're sticking with what you're good at, so that then we can support all the different enterprises growth.
Yes.
So in short, Trific is your partner for growth.
Yes, for growth, yeah.
And we've taken away all those areas which are considered a challenge of doing business in Kenya.
Yes.
People say when I come to Kenya, there's bureaucracy,
yes,
red tape,
yeah.
It will take a long time.
I need to give someone something.
That is off. I need to look for space. I need to fit it out. I need to, there are issues that has been removed. The tax environment is unpredictable, etc. The new special economic zones bill that will shortly become law,
yeah.
your company will get a license for 10 years.
Wow.
So in those 10 years, you have
yes.
predictability.
True. You're
on the
able to make accurate investments for 10 years. Yes.
For 10 years. So therefore, whatever remittances you are now bringing to Kenya,
yes.
you're able to make more, is increasing.
Yes.
You're able to make more remittances
yes.
now as a producer.
Yes.
Yeah, leveraging on your networks in Kenya.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. Okay, so if you're listening to this in the diaspora and you're watching this, or if you've got an export-oriented business for goods or services, please make sure you get in touch with this special economic zone, because it's going to change your business. If you're thinking of and you can see you've got the potential to have an export-oriented business, you need to come and talk to Trific, because they've got literally everything you need to support your back end. So you concentrate on what you're good at. If there is a Kenyan in the diaspora wondering, how do I go about it? How do I get in touch with Trific right now? I am sitting in Boston, I'm sitting in Atlanta. What's the next step?
So the next step, and we've had a lot of people contacting us, is just through our website.
Okay.
There's a Trific website, www.trific.co.ke.
Yeah.
There's a landing page there. Just put your contacts. Yeah. Somebody will contact you.
Yes.
We'll engage you on your business.
Yes.
We offer you free tax consultancy services.
Wow.
We help with structuring.
Yeah.
We give you the requirements.
Yes.
What the requirements are. We then see your eligibility.
Yes.
You then inform us what other areas you need support.
Yes.
We've even supported entities that are coming here that are also coming with expatriates.
Yes.
We support them also get work permits.
Yeah.
So any support you need,
wow,
we'll then support you just based on whatever business it is that you want, you want to do.
Okay.
So once you register your request,
yes,
one of our officers should be in touch with you within 12 hours.
Okay.
And then you can work together through the processes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So please get in touch, tafadhali. All the details are going to be in the caption here below. Please make sure you watch this as many times as you can. If you can share it, even better for your associates, people you may know who may need these particular services. They're now available. The first one in Nairobi, and it's open and ready for business to support you in the back end so you do what you do best as yourself. So thank you so much, Mr. Moria. I said, anything else we've not covered? It is so new, I don't even probably know even 50% of what we need to.
You know, perhaps maybe we can just briefly look at the macro.
Yes.
You know, of why services.
Yes.
You know, the structure of the Kenyan economy has changed significantly.
Yeah.
For a long time, we considered agriculture
the backbone of our economy. True.
But if you look at the latest statistics, 45% of Kenya's labor force is in services.
Yes.
45% is in agriculture, 10% is in industry.
Yeah.
So services is the fastest growing
sector.
Employer.
Yes, employer in Kenya.
Employer in Kenya today. In terms of economic growth, the segment of the economy that is growing,
yes,
services is contributing 54%.
Okay.
So it's where we have a competitive advantage.
Yes.
Because there are many things that are working in Kenya. So people ask, where is this growth? The growth
that was going to be my next question.
Yeah.
Where is this growth?
Where is this growth?
Yes.
This growth is in services. Look at what the business you do.
Yes.
Entertainment is services.
Yes.
Look at what we do. Investment is services.
It's services, yeah.
It's services. So 54% of our growth is in services.
Services, yeah. And
that's one area where we have significant productivity.
Yes.
In terms of exports, digital services have been growing exports 15% year on year.
Wow.
From 2006 to 2021.
Yeah.
So we have a competitive advantage.
Yes.
And in terms of foreign direct investment, services now account for 54% of total FDI into the country.
Wow.
So it's going into services. So that is one area that not a lot is said.
Yeah.
But Kenya has a very significant competitive advantage because the key driver of services is human capital.
Yes.
Unlike, say, manufacturing, where it is, say, cost of power.
Yes. True.
So you're coming to an area where we have a very significant, Kenya has a very significant competitive advantage.
Yeah.
So if you're thinking of building your business for the long term,
yes,
and for growth,
yeah,
you want to be in a sector where there's a very significant competitive advantage.
Yes.
And many parts of the world have a declining working age population.
True.
But Africa is one of the, probably only Africa and India,
where the youth are more than anyone else.
Where you have an increasing working age population.
Yeah.
Now, what makes Kenya particularly attractive is that this population is very well educated.
Yeah.
And then we have a certain degree of financial services sophistication in Kenya that enables you to conduct this kind of services.
Yes.
And also connectivity.
Yeah. Yes, connectivity, we're really good at that.
Because in many places you don't have the connectivity.
True.
You also don't have direct flights.
Yes.
So from Nairobi you can have a direct flight to the US.
To New York.
You can have a direct flight to London.
Yes.
To any global
capital.
Global capital.
Yeah.
So this is an untapped gold mine Yeah?
It truly is,
Yeah,
yes.
it's an untapped gold mine, which has now been further enhanced by the trade agreements we've gotten into.
So we are already enjoying an advantage with those agreements with the US, the EU, and the UK
Yeah,
already. And now we've got this environment,
and then you have the environment
where there's no VAT,
the
there's only 10%
Yeah.
corporation tax,
Yeah.
no withholding tax, no VAT,
Yeah.
and you're domiciled
And then you have
here.
a landing space.
And you've got a landing
so that
space.
Now the
And your
conversion,
back end is taken care
your
of.
back end is taken care of.
Yes.
So at the setup process, ordinarily, to set up a business will take you a year.
Yes.
Now we've had entities that have come here, and within a month they've gotten their licenses and they're operating.
Wow.
So the setup is very quick.
Yes.
And then if you're coming into Trific,
Yeah.
there's a hotel,
Yes, true.
there's a residential accommodation,
Yes.
there's a mall.
There's
So
the infrastructure, the bypasses on all sides.
Bypasses
Yeah.
and the rest. So the setup is very quick.
Yeah.
So it's something you can just get in, connect,
Literally plug and play.
and grow your business significantly. So I think that's one thing as you think about your business.
Yes.
How do you move your business from a small business to a medium-sized business?
Yes.
Or how do you move your business from medium-sized business to a global business?
Yes.
And even for that person who is in Kenya in services, the growth of your business may not necessarily come from Kenya.
Yeah.
It is how do you make your business
Accessible
a
to
global
the world.
business. Yeah,
True.
accessible to the world.
Yes.
Using the advantages that are there in
Yes.
the country, in your home market.
Yes.
So if you look at the large Fortune 500 companies, they have all internationalized.
Yes.
And I think that's a conversation all of us in your boardrooms, in your partnerships, you need to start thinking, how do I internationalize my business?
Yes.
How do I look beyond
Our
Kenya?
borders.
You're not going to create a multi-billion shilling business
Yeah.
if you're just focusing on the Kenyan market.
Not going to happen.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And you've seen examples of that even in countries like Ireland,
Yes.
where you now have global companies operating
Yes.
based in Ireland.
Yes.
So it's an opportunity for us, even the economic challenges we are facing as a country, to force us to think beyond
Our borders.
because
yeah.
we've been in our comfort zone
Yes.
of saying, oh, I'll just have counties, I'll operate here, maybe the farthest I'll go is Thika, Nakuru, if I go very far.
Yes.
So you cannot think, how do I
think outside?
How do I think outside the box and
Yeah.
make my business globally competitive? That's on the one hand.
Yes.
On the other hand then is, how do I as a business owner play a role in solving our country's challenges?
Yeah.
So today we have a challenge of employment.
Yeah.
Already some of the 16 companies that are in the process of getting licensed in Trific, they're employing 8,500 people. So you, minor,
Yes.
can be a major employer.
Yes.
And by creating that employment, you're solving a significant social challenge.
Yes. True.
Recently, I met somebody at the mall who was a guard working for Tribus.
Yeah.
And told me he'd just gotten his job as a guard.
Yeah.
And he was very appreciative. But he told me, you know, I'm a BCom graduate from the University of Nairobi.
Wow.
And I have a CPAK.
Yeah. Wow.
So I am waiting for this Trific to happen.
Yes.
So that I can get a job as an
There,
accountant.
as an accountant, you know what I
So
studied.
I think all of us, in whatever position we have,
Yeah.
we have a moral obligation to utilize that position to create opportunity for other
others.
people,
True.
other people, so that also they can uplift
Yeah.
those people that they have, because that person has siblings, has a
Yes.
mother, has a father, has brothers and sisters,
Yeah.
and they are role models in their village. They did well.
True.
So if they come out and that does not translate into how well they are doing, it's then very hard for you to persuade the next generation that education is
important. True.
or is of value. Number two, the more people we can get into employment, the more we broaden the tax base.
True.
So then we don't complain we are being overtaxed.
Yes. We just make it. I'll bring a lot more people into the net.
Let us bring a lot more people into
yes.
the net, because the government can only create an enabling environment,
True.
which they have done.
Yeah.
It's now our role as the private sector to take the job we do, yes, to make profit, but also to be of service
to your people,
to our people and to our country.
True.
Because today, Kenya, pay as you earn is our largest tax source.
Yes.
Last year, we got 480 billion.
Yeah.
So pay as you earn is almost as large as corporation tax and VAT.
True.
And out of a labor participation of 20 million people, only about 3.4 are in formal employment. 17 are not.
They're not informal.
They're not
that
informal.
means they
So
don't
they're not
pay,
paid,
they don't do PAYE.
They don't pay
Yes.
PAYE.
Yeah.
And which is our largest tax.
Source of income as a country.
Which is our largest source of income. But the rest of the world is short of people. And we don't need to take these people from here to migrate.
They can work here.
They can work here.
True.
And be taxpayers here.
Yes.
And develop the economy here.
Yes.
And develop the skills while they are while they are here. So you can also help us address the tax situation. The third issue is that you can now also be an exporter.
Yes.
But now that foreign currency
comes to Kenya.
Comes to to Kenya. And if you're sitting in the US or UK, when you bring your currency here now with a weak currency, it is so much in shillings.
Yes.
You can now do major investments.
True.
So then when you're coming now back to the country,
you're
coming here as a major
investor.
As a captain of industry, as a major investor.
Yeah.
So that is a natural competitive advantage that you enjoy being a Kenyan anywhere in the world. Because no one needs to tell you about Kenya or sell you about Kenya or explain to you where to rivers. You understand.
Yes. Yes, you get it. Yeah.
You get it. So I think that's the thing I wanted to share is a why.
Yeah.
Is a why. So that even as you address your business, there's a bigger good that is coming out of what you're doing. And also remember, when you come here, you'll also be supporting other SMEs, other businesses who will be your supplier.
Yes.
Yeah, who will be doing business with you. So we are bringing the rest of the world to Kenya.
Yeah. A very quick question. If I'm exporting services, not just to the US, to the EU, around Africa, do I qualify to be part of SEZ?
Anything you are exporting. In fact, the SEZ does not even restrict you. You can even access the domestic market. It's not like an EPZ which was restricted to exports. You can also access the domestic market.
Yes.
But for it to make sense, the bulk of your business should be export oriented. So there's no restriction.
Yes.
And that's why it works if you're coming in as an investor.
Yes.
And you set up an investment holding company.
Yes.
And you're investing in, say, an avocado processing plant in Moranga.
Yes.
You can do that via an SEZ investment entity. And there are certain incentives that are there. For example, you've taken a loan. Kenya interest rates are high.
Yes.
You're sitting in Canada. You go to your bank, they lend you at 6%.
Yes.
You lend your SEZ here.
Yes.
If you lend the SEZ here, there's no taxation on that interest.
True.
You get?
Yes.
Then that entity now puts the money into the planting
of avocados here
in Moranga.
In Moranga. Yes.
Now, in between this Moranga and this SEZ, there's no taxation.
Yes.
When you repatriate the money, there's no further tax.
Taxation.
That's an advantage, which makes it easier for you to move your money in.
Yes.
If this SEZ now pays you dividend, or royalties or management fees, so there's no taxation
on it.
And obviously, the other advantage with Kenya is that we have no capital controls.
Yeah.
So it can also make it easier for you to make investments. You can use the SEZ for services.
Yes.
Or even to make your foreign direct investment into other sectors in the country and enjoy certain, not all the incentives, but at least you'll enjoy the incentives that relate to capital.
Yes.
Because before now, you're being taxed even on your capital, even before you've made money.
True. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Even the capital is being taxed.
Even the capital is being taxed. Yeah.
Wow. So if you're thinking of growing your business from small to medium sized, from medium sized to something akin to a global company, it all starts here. At the special economic zone here at Trific, you're gonna get all the services you need. It's plug and play. Don't think of furniture. Don't think of a fridge. Just come. You're gonna have your entire system connectivity, infrastructure is all done, and they're gonna handle the back office for you. So you concentrate, and you had the example of the avocado growing plant in Moranga, and with a market that's overseas. Not just doesn't have to be Canada. It could be in Zambia. It could be in Egypt. It could be South Africa. The tax breaks you enjoy here and the savings you can make are humongous. If you've got any questions for Mr. Moria, please use a caption below in the inbox, or you can also make sure you direct your queries towards the landing page. You can also get in touch with their website. The link is any clarifications you need. Mr. Mori will be there to answer them on a weekly basis. So in a week's time, we're going to be taking and answering your questions and your feedback, both from the landing page and also in the comments section below. Don't say you've not been told. There are opportunities in Kenya. And yes, even a weak shilling has its advantages. This is Trific. It's a special economic zone, a special zone that is tailor-made for you to grow your biashara. You heard with the tariffs and trade pacts we've got with the US, the EU, the UK, you're already taking advantage of that. This now takes benefits to the next level. So please get in touch. Any questions, clarifications you need, comment section or on the landing page. Going to answer all your questions, give you all the feedback you require. It's time to move Kenya forward. There is opportunity here in Kenya. Thank you so much, Mr.
Thanks a lot, Maina.
I'll be looking forward to seeing him next week as we take more of your feedback and your questions. He's going to be answering them, so get them into us right now. Welcome to Trific. This is a game changer, first of its kind in Nairobi, available to change not just your business, but your life.